Ratios and rates. Let's start with ratio. A ratio is a relationship between 2 or 3 or 4 numbers, and it tells you that the relationship between them is a very specific constant number. So in this instance, we're saying that the ratio needs to be expressed in the simplest form. Question number 1 says 32 out of 200 adults like opera. If I was to write this sentence in a ratio, I would write 32 colon 200. 32 to 200. A ratio of 32 out of 200. You could also write a ratio as a fraction, as in 32 out of 200. But obviously we call that a fraction, whereas the one with a colon is called a ratio. However, this is not the simplest form. So if we wanted to do that, we could divide 32 by half. So there's different ways of doing this, but let's just say, okay, we're going to divide by half, divide by 2. So this becomes 32 divided by 2 is 16 to 100. What I do on the left hand side, I do on the right hand side. I can half it again. So half of 16 is 8 to 50. Half it again, 4 to 25. At this point, I'm not able to simplify anymore because there is no common factor. I cannot, the factors I can divide 4 by is 1, 2, and 4. I cannot divide 25 by 1, 2, well, I can by 1, but I can't divide it by 2 or 4. So this is as simple as it gets. If I was to do this, so we said divided by 2, this one was divided by 2, and this one was divided by 2. So in actuality, what we did was we divided by 2 to the power of 3, which is 8 on both sides. Let's do question number 2, which says 20 out of 65, and let's divide by 5 this time. Divide by 5, divide by 5, and I choose 5 because this number here is ending with a 5. So I know 5 will go in there, and that's a 0. 5 will go in both. 20 divided by 5 gives me 4, and 65 divided by 5 gives me 13. And that's as simple as I get because this is a prime number. 13 is a prime number. Next up, let's do 48 to 21. 48 divided by, that won't work. So let's divide by 3. 48 divided by 3 would work, yes. So we're going to say divide by 3. That gives me 16 to 7 if I'm not mistaken. And since 7 is a prime number, I am going to stop there. Divide by 3. 10 to 22. I'm going to divide by 2, which gives me 5 to 11. Both of them are prime numbers, so I leave it at that. 2 to 64. Okay, this one is different because they're using feet and inches. So I'm going to remove that because those are not units of measure that we use. Again, ounces and pounds, we don't use that one. Millimeters and centimeters, we do use that one. So 45 millimeters is equal to 10 centimeters. Or not equal to, but 45 millimeters out of 10 centimeters. 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters. So 10 centimeters will be 100 millimeters. So it's 45 to 100 millimeters. What's important for you to notice here is that this unit must be the same. So we did a conversion over here to make sure that it's millimeters to millimeters, and then we simplify. So we can divide by 5, which gives me 9 millimeters to 100 divided by 5 is 20 millimeters. Still, I think that's as simple as we get. We got 3 on the left, and 3 does not go into 20. So 9 to 20. And the last one, again, we're going to remove it because we don't use those units. All right, so this is ratio. You're given two numbers and you divide by a common factor in order to make it as simple as possible. Now let's look at a rate. A rate is a ratio with a base of 1. It's a ratio with a base of 1. What do I mean by that? It means that you have one number, which is x, and it is 2, 1. One of the two numbers must be 1, or if you write it as a fraction, it would be x over 1. Like, for example, have you ever heard of somebody saying, I drove 120 kilometers per hour? This is 120 kilometers in 1 hour. This is a rate, and it's a rate because it is 1 hour. So in 1 hour, I did 120 kilometers. When we're doing rates, these questions for us are not given in unit form. So they're not giving us a rate. They tell us to make a unit rate. So the first thing they're telling us is we've got 110 inches of snow in 8 days. What do you notice? There are different units, right? This one is inches and this one is days. This one is feet and this one is seconds. This one is cars and this one is hours. This one is miles and this one is gallons. If I go back here, this one is adults and adults, robins and blackbirds, but it's birds and birds. This one is people, 20 people and 65 people, musicians and musicians, millimeters and millimeters. So when you are doing a ratio, you need the same unit. You need to compare apples with apples. But if you are doing a rate, it does not have to be, or it's normally not the same unit. So let's say if I have 110 inches in 8 days, so per 8 days, it means I'm going to divide both sides by 8 because I want the bottom to be equal to 1, right? So that is going to become 13,75 inches per day. In 1 day, I got 13,75 inches. 38 feet. Feet is a unit of measure they use in America. In 25 seconds. So 38 divided by 25 is going to give me a unit rate of 1,52 feet per second. That's how fast the person runs. We could change that to meters, for example. So that could possibly be something like 38 meters in 25 seconds. So the person ran 1,52 meters in a second. 594 cars crossing a bridge in 3 hours. So 594 divided by 3 means it's 194 cars in 1 hour. 366 miles, we can change that to kilometers per liter. So 366 kilometers in 12 liters of fuel. So 366 divided by 12 gives me a number of 30,5 kilometers in 1 liter. Shopping, they're saying an 8-ounce box costs $1.59 and a 2-pound box costs $6.79. Which box is a better buy? So again, we're going to skip this because you don't know how to work with ounces and pounds. Let's look at the last one, which is the animal one. Which animal consumes the least amount of food compared to its body weight? Explain your reasoning. So we're going to do a ratio or a rate for each one, the rate of consumption. Our elephant is elephant pH is going to be 12,000 over 500. So we divide both by 500 and that gives us a unit rate of 24 pounds 24 weight per food. Okay, 24 pounds of body weight for every 1 pound of food. Let's look at the whale. The whale says 286,000 per 8,000. So 286,000 divided by 8,000 gives us 35,75 per pound of food. Our koala does 22 over 2, which is 11 pounds of weight per 1 pound of food. And our Komodo dragon is 300 over 240, which means 300 divided by 240 is 1,25 pounds of weight per pound of food. So the question says, which one consumes the least amount of food compared to its body weight? What we've done is we've done everybody to 1 pound of food, right? So the elephant is 24 to 1. The whale is 35,75 to 1. The koala is 11 to 1. And the Komodo dragon is 1,25 to 1. So the least would be the Komodo dragon. All right, so that is your ratios and your rates. Again, I hope this helped you. If you have any questions, please send me a message. Otherwise, I'll see you in class. Good luck with your studies and like and subscribe. Bye-bye.